Today we're examining compare and contrast. So what exactly is compare and contrast and when we're talking about essay writing? We frequently try to make sense of the world by finding similarities and differences in our experiences, seeing how things are alike, comparing, and seeing how they are different, contrasting, help us impose meaning on the experiences that might otherwise remain fragmented and disconnected. It also helps us to make choices. We compare and contrast everything. Think about standing at the grocery store holding up 2 different brands of soap or 2 different brands of shampoo and looking at which one might be better for your particular hair or skin type. Or standing in the middle of the grocery aisle and holding up 2 different types of cheese, looking at the calories and fat content and trying to decide which one was a better choice for your particular diet plan. These are good tools to use, especially with essays, because you can delve into quite a bit of material. Your opinion about the 2 elements in question will become your thesis statement, and then the body of the paper supports how you arrive at your opinion. And so with any essay, you still have to do your introductory paragraph, and then you would have your thesis statement and your body of support. You can organize your body in 2 different ways. You can either use the point by point, which is the body paragraphs compare and contrast 2 subjects, first on point 1 and then on the following points, or the block. You have body paragraphs with the points inside the paragraphs. In point by point, you're writing, essentially going, say like this essay is about Chinese restaurants in this particular town, Paducah. You're writing about these 2 restaurants and comparing and contrasting them on the various points of service, menu, location, pricing, etc. You can read the thesis statement there. You would start your outline with menu selection would be point A, and then you could go Chong's and Super Number 1. Then you could do pricing. You have one restaurant followed by the other. Atmosphere, the first restaurant followed by the second one, then location, 1, 2. Whereas with block, you're writing about one topic with all its examples and then switching to the other one. You have Chong's, and then you'd write about its menu selection, pricing, atmosphere, and location. And then you'd do a transition paragraph, and then you'd switch to the other restaurant with the same 4 points. You have to find which style of compare and contrast works the best for your particular writing style. But no matter which method you choose, for comparison, pick one and stick with it. Most writers will tell you typically the point by point works best, but some writers prefer the block approach. In block, though, you should consider breaking the main points into 4 paragraphs for the sake of the reader's eyes and comprehension. I would think that it would be boring if we just read a lot of big, long, bulky paragraphs with, 4 points including in one big, bulky paragraph. So break those up and then use details and examples to back up your statements. Strategies for success. Make sure that your subjects are somewhat alike. It's not good to, as they say in the old cliche, compare apples and oranges. You need to make sure that they actually are the same type of subject, and then you can compare them on a more equal level. Stay focused on the purpose. The comparison contrast isn't an end in and of itself. That is, your objective isn't to turn the essay into a mechanical list of how A differs from B or how A is like B. You'll use comparison and contrast to evaluate the subject's pros and cons, but always stay focused on the purpose. If you find yourself drifting, go back to an outline and start over. Always make sure you establish a strong thesis. This is something we have to do for all essays. Select the points you want to be discussed and then organize those points. You could either use like an outline, or some people might want to do a graphic organizer. Again, whatever works best with your particular writing style and learning style. And then write clear transitions between the points. You don't really just want to list it like ABC, this is why such and such restaurant is better than such and such restaurant, without coming into some type of transition between them and giving the reader a little bit more information, more details, some type of transition. Otherwise, it just becomes essentially a grocery list. An example of a transition, say you're talking about two newspapers, and I'm quoting something from the Longman writer, which was a textbook previously used in English 101. By the way of contrast, the Herald's editorial page deals with national matters on an average of 3 times a week. On the other hand, the Beacon does not share the Herald's enthusiasm for interviews with the national figures. By the way of contrast, and on the other hand, are transitional statements that lead the reader from point A to point B, and then from point C to point D. So I hope that you find this helpful. Good luck with your next essay.